What's up, friends? It's Firecore. Welcome back to EV Madness Team Breakdown, or EV Madness Breakdown, however you want to call it. Today, we're going to be making an entire episode, or an entire video, showcasing what the EV spreads do on the newest EV Madness team. So, if you guys don't know, EV Madness is when I take a team, or just any kind of team that I want to make, and fill the entire thing full of EV spreads. I don't have to fill every single mon. Like, a few mons need to have full special attack or full attack. They just need to be full offensive or full speed, which is totally fine. But some of the mons I decided to make EV spread it up. So we're going to be taking a look at them inside of a full video, and you can keep on the lookout for the EV Madness showcasing the team in the future. Right, so as you saw by the thumbnail, or by the title, we're going to be doing a Latias showcase. Now, Latias is a very cool Pokemon, and I called it Speed of Mustard. Now, this is actually a callback to my older team, where I had a Latias as a dual screener. I don't really recall the team. Ignore that. We are going to be actually using it as an offensive mon. It's a little bit more defensively, but I just needed a little bit of defense for a certain mon that was very annoying inside of this tier. So as you see right here, we are inside the UU tier, which got totally crushed 2 months ago. Then RU got crushed, and now NU's going to get crushed, or it did get crushed. So, yeah, we're going to be taking a look at NU, UU, which got changed inside the recent tiering. I actually had some calcs in here and some EV spreads for some mons, so unfortunately the older version of this team will be lost forever, since it's unnecessary to calc for a few of these mons, but they still calc for the new mons. Anyways, let's take a look at the most powerful condiment, Speed of Mustard. Alright, so taking a look at this thing, that you can see the entire team right here, pretty interesting in all the names. But first, let's take a look at Latias. Now, Latias over here is a very, very powerful mon. It's always been really strong, but it's not as strong as its brother, or its male variant, which is fine. That thing's a lot more offensive, and that's pretty much it. But I definitely like Latias better, since I think it's cuter, and it's shiny. It's a lot better than the weird neon blue. In my opinion, if you don't like the Speed of Mustard, that's personally on you. And I have no way to deny it's a little weird looking. But let's take a look at the moves. This mon has Draco Meteor, Psyshock, Mystical Fire, and Recover. So of course it's gonna have to have Recover if it has any amount of HP, since this thing's it can stick around for a while. And there are a few calcs that I want to make sure it's at full HP for, since I'm not really good at calcing things like, oh, it lives like 40% or something. These are usually just like from 100% going down or something like that. So being at 100 is always good, which is why I was really contemplating putting heavy duty boots on this mon just to make sure this calc works. But anyways, my god. Anyways, let's take a look at what this thing does. So I actually have my reference point right here, so I'm not going to be cutting between. Alright, so as you see right here, we have the Odd Incense. Now, that is a very weird item to have on this mon, since I have never seen anyone use an Odd Incense. But I didn't want to use Specs, since I have Recover. I didn't want to use Life Orb, since, a few calcs and all that kind of stuff. So I put Odd Incense on, which actually has a very cool niche for a new mon that got dropped down to UU. Starting it off, the HP, which is the most important. This is enough HP with this nature, which doesn't impact the HP. This can live 2 hits from a Scisor's U-turn, which is pretty good, since I'm going to take a look at the viability rankings while I do this, because Pikalytics has a really good reference point for what's being used. It's not always totally up to date, since you can take a look at something like, I don't know, the Smogon tiering, which only happened a couple days ago, by the point this is going. But if you look at the underused, you're not going to be able to see this right now, but it's like top 5. Well, technically it's like top 3, since a few of the mons got banned. But anyways, this is enough HP to live a Leftovers Scizor U-turn. So Leftover Scizor is the biggest set inside of UU right now. Going off of the usage stats for Pikalytics, it's like around 40% of the time you're going to run into a Leftovers one. And then of course you have like the Life Orb one, the Banded one. So U-turn, it's definitely something that you want to live. So we're able to take 2 of them with this amount of HP, which is good. But I also have a little bit of more on this mon, since I didn't just want to have a, oh, it lives one hit. No, I wanted this thing to have some other calcs along with it. So, heading back over to the calc, the next thing, this mon actually outspeeds Jolly Galarian Zapdos, which recently dropped down inside of the tier. So, at maximum speed, Galarian Zapdos gets to 329. No, 328, but like there's a weird calcing thing right here, so you can't really do that. If you put it down to 72, it's not gonna put you down by 1, it's gonna put you down by 2. It's like a weird odd number thing, but it doesn't matter. This is still enough to outspeed a Galarian Zapdos, and that is all I needed. That mon going for U-turn with its band set, or Brave Bird, really annoying, so I want to make sure I can get as fast as possible to taking out this mon. But since we have no Life Orb, since we don't want to, die to the U-turn, I decided, let's put Odd Incense on and see if it does anything. So, going from Psyshock, which, is going to be the one that I wanted to check the most, it is going to be a, what's the calc? From a normal Zapdos, so no like HP or all that, just full offense and full speed with 4 instead of special defense. It has a 56.3% chance to one-shot with Psyshock, which is definitely better than going for Draco, risking a miss, and that is definitely going off of the Odd Incense, which raises the power of Psychic-type moves. Because if you don't have the Odd Incense, it is a 0% chance to one-shot, but it is also a 100% chance. So it's not a 50% chance, it turns into a 100% chance to OHKO after Stealth Rocks, which I feel Galarian Zapdos is going to take a few rounds of those, since it's not really a mon that usually runs leftovers or heavy-duty boots, or anything like that. So that's pretty cool. Yeah. Of course, you could go for Draco, which I'm pretty sure would kill normally, but, who knows? Who knows? I'm not going to calculate right now. I'll get that inside the future. But yeah, this is definitely a very cool mon, and I like its EV spread. It seems very useful for the current meta. Anyways, since I have a dragon type, it is only obvious we have to give a counter to steel types, since this mon has like nothing for it besides Mystical Fire, and I'll tell you very soon why Mystical Fire is not really going to be helpful against this insane mon that for some reason is inside of UU. And that mon is going to be Celesteela, so of course I had to put on Magnezone, which, I named Analytical Binary. I don't know if I spelled those two right, but, this is basically like a trick set or something. It's trying to trick the opponent into thinking you are actually analytics, but you're magnet pole. I don't know, I just like the name, Analytical Binary. It sounds very interesting. But anyway, since it's just a normal Specs Magnezone set, no Poppycocky, no nothing, it is just pivotal that this can do as much damage as possible to Celesteela, since all the Celesteelas recently, or inside of UU, are running like max special defense with Flamethrower, Leech Seep, and Protect, which gets like flat out knocked out by this thing. It's like a pretty high chance to one-shot. It's a 100% chance to one-shot after Stealth Rocks, I'm pretty sure, but it doesn't really matter. It's just the ultimate counter since we have nothing else to take care of that mon, so I definitely want to clear it out immediately. I don't really have any U-turners or anything like that, so I'm not going to be able to do that, since a few mons that could have had something like Flip Turn, or, well, I guess that's the only mon that can, phase out, I think, unless Speed of Mustard can learn Teleport, which I'm not going to be running on this mon. But yeah, Magnet Pull, Magnezone, definitely going to be quite helpful here. Unfortunately, no EV spread, since he has to be as strong as possible. The next is going to be Benky. Now, if you can understand this reference inside the next 10 seconds, I will give you a gold star, but I have no way to, tell if you actually understand the reference or if you got inside the given time. So I'll just tell you. This is a reference to my childhood. Inside of Beyblade, yes, I was a Beyblade child when I was about 7. One of the characters, which is named like Benky Higadake or whatever, something like that, he has a Beyblade called a Dark Bull, and of course, Tapu Bulu being a bull, I decided to name it that since it's a pretty cool name. So this is gonna be Benky, pretty cool. One of the characters called him Ben. I feel really old. I feel really old. That's like back inside of Metal Fusion days, Now it's all about like the bursts and all that shit. So yeah, the good old metal days when you can take out your friend's eyeballs with those metal spinning tops. Anyways, I'm also noticing right here, I'm on Pikalytics, and I've been doing so much Japanese research on words with certain websites that I'm getting ads inside of Japanese. So I'm just gonna not pay attention to that since I'm getting Doom Eternal ads, but like it's in Japanese or some shit. Weird. Anyways, this is going to be a defensive Tapu Bulu, which is quite helpful against a few mons that are really good inside this tier. So of course, you are probably looking at this EV spread, and you are just shocked at what this thing fucking does. It has like plus special defense, but like no investment. Oh boy, oh boy. So back inside of Generation 7, especially defensive Bulu was like a really big thing. I think it was used quite a bit. At least I've seen, like, I saw it get used quite a bit, so I decided to use it myself. But this is a defensive Bulu, but like physically defensive, also with specially defensive. Okay, so what the special defense does is it makes it so a Volcarona Flamethrower, yes, an entire Volcarona Flamethrower, always 2-hit KOs, which is very cool since we have Stone Edge. I want to make sure 100% of the time we are able to Stone Edge that thing. And luckily, since we have Tapu Bulu over here, he's going to be setting up the Grassy Surge, also making Magnezone not be able to get... he doesn't have to worry about Earthquakes as much, and he also has leftovers. So if we're like at 90% or something, we can heal ourselves back up to the Calc range if Volcarona switches in. But there is a Calc that kind of gets thrown off by the Grassy Surge, but, you know, we'll just have to play around that since I like the Calc too much. I can't mess with it, it's too beautiful. Yeah, but this thing can live 2 Flamethrowers, which is very strong. It only requires the special defense. The defense is just there to, you know, exist, since there's no real other stat I wanted him to have, since he's meant to be defensive. Of course, he also has close combat, so that kind of counters it. Does he have superpower? Maybe I should put on superpower. Yeah, if I put on superpower, then I won't have to drop my special defense and throw off my calc. We can change this inside the future. But anyways, Shiny Bulu, Legendary. Speaking of Legendary, let's also take a look at the speed stat, which is enough to outspeed Modest Magnezone. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. Magnezone is definitely a big player inside of this tier since Celesteela is everywhere, especially since, you know, taking a look at Pikalytics at least, Hydreigon is number 1. He was a big player inside of this metagame until he was banned, of course. Hippowdon was also banned, and Tapu Lele was banned, but Celesteela is still chilling in there. So, yeah, definitely wanted to have a counter for that with my Analytics Magnezone. Definitely also want to make sure I get this video out soon enough that it's still relevant and Celesteela is not banned or some shit like that, because I'll be very sad if it is. Well, not sad, since it's kind of broken and kind of annoying to deal with, but I have counters, so it's cool. Yes, but this is enough speed to outspeed Modest Magnezone, which is kind of a threat to this dude. He might be inclined like, oh, I just hit this dude with a superpower or something, and it did like nothing, like literally nothing, since Bulu's bulky. So maybe they'll be like, oh, it's probably physically defensive or something. I can just switch this mon in, and I can go for the Flash Cannon. But no, we have close combat, and we can punch him inside the face, which I'm pretty sure is a one-shot on every single set. Pretty sure. Unless it's like, I don't know, something with body press and it wants a bunch of normal defense, but whatever. Yeah, but this is a pretty cool set. Hopefully we're able to showcase the power of mixed Bulu. Well, not mixed defense Bulu. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Next, we're going to showcase the Mammoth. Now, of course, I had to put on a high horsepower instead of Earthquake, since there's no reason to have Earthquake on a grassy terrain team. That'll just weaken the power of high horsepower, or of Earthquake, since shaky moves do less inside of grassy terrain. Not Earth power, though, I don't think. Things like Magnitude, Stomping Tantrum, maybe? Ground shaking things. But yeah, high horsepower does not get affected, so we're going to put that on. But the Mammoth over here is going to have Thick Fat and Life Orb, and he does nothing inside of forms of Calcs. He's going to be the stealth rocker, the priority user. He's just a good mon to have inside this tier, and I like him a lot, since not only he can take all the electric attacks, but he also has priority, thick fat. He's a good mon. I'm in no way going to diss on him. He is too strong to diss on. So I gave him a life orb. Don't know if that's optimal. I really don't. This is kind of the smoke gun set, and I just decided to put this mon on since I wanted priority, and I also wanted a ground type, and I didn't want to use Crocodile since I didn't really feel like using him. Also, he doesn't have priority, I don't think. Anyways, big old thick fat mammal swine. Cool. Next, we're going to move on to another calced set, which is very cool. Alright, that is going to be the Marvelous Le Fish. Now, Marvelous Le Fish is, I don't really have much of a reasoning behind the name. So, Le Fish, it's the funny meme of the fish inside the water. So I call this Marvelous to give my opponent a hint at the ability, since I had an old Melodic called Marvelous, which I really enjoyed its name. Pretty sure it was also the same team that had Mustard, the Latios. So yeah, we can throw him off. Like, he'll be like, oh, it's a Marvel scale Melodic. That means he's like doing nicknames based off of their abilities or something. So this is definitely analytics, and then they proceed to switch in their Celesteela, and then they die. I don't know why you'd switch in your Celesteela. Celesteela is still scary though. It has Meteor Beam and all that kind of stuff, and like Autotomize. Hopefully we don't run into that. It's 90% of the time, according to Peakalytics, it's mostly just the defensive set with special defense. So I'm gonna hope it's that. If not, I'm gonna be very sad. Yeah, but this is a very cool Melodic, which has a very intricate EV spread, as you can see. Well, it doesn't really look intricate, but it does something, so that's kind of cool. Now, as you can see right here, our team has nothing for Volcarona. It gets washed by Volcarona. This thing, Bug Buzz, this thing, Flamethrower, like all these things, if a plus Volcarona comes in, smashed. We're just going to get killed. Like, sure, Mammoth might be able to maybe live due to thick fat, but it also has Giga Drain. This mon, nah. Volcarona is too strong for the game. So I had to put on the legendary defensive mon herself, Melodic, which has a very intricate EV spread, like I already said. So the plus special defense, oddly enough, makes it so Melodic can live 2 Giga Drains from Volcarona if it's at +3. So if we really go down the drain, like if we really get stuck inside of a bad situation, we have like a +3 Volcarona or something, we still can live. Now, I highly doubt I'd be inside of a situation with that, but still I wanted to put that on there just in case. But the reason behind having this much of a Volcarona counter is the final move on this mod, Mirror Coat, which is going to be like a punch inside the face with special moves. So it's like counter, but for special moves. So if we get hit with something like Bug Buzz, which wouldn't do as much as Giga Drain, we're able to live that and hit it with a Mirror Coat, which does double the damage. So that's very cool, and it's able to take out Volcarona at like +1, at +2, since both of those will do over 50%, and I'm pretty sure we have more HP than Volcarona. At least I think so. It doesn't matter, still double the damage, and hopefully we'll be able to take it out. Since Skull's going to do literally nothing to Volcarona, since, you know, Quiver Dance, we all know the power of Quiver Dance Volcarona. So yeah, this has Recover, Ice Beam, Scald, and Mirror Coat. Very cool, very legendary, and yeah, and leftovers along with it. Now the problem with that is it is not able to live at +3 in grassy terrain. So if we have a +3 Volcarona and our Melodic's not looking so hot, like, oh god, this thing's gonna die to a Giga Drain. Since we have the Benky's grassy terrain up, we're gonna have to stall out a couple of our mons to make it so this mon can actually live. So hopefully we don't get inside that situation, since that would be very unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate. But I'm just going to avoid +3 Volcarona, and I don't think anyone would be as greedy enough to get that much. But yeah, Grassy Terrain is going to kind of fuck us up inside of that part, but I'll keep fighting. And we can go for the Mirror Coat. The defense does literally nothing besides I like physically defensive Melodic a little bit better. It's personally just my preferred way of using it. It's kind of like a cool middle ground. It's like Tangrowth. Like AV Tangrowth, it always has insanely high HP, insanely high defense. Then you give the AV, insanely high special defense, and it's like a good like mixed wall or something, since Pokemon's all about accounting for different sets, and I kind of wanted to do that with my Eevee Spread as well. So sure, I could just give myself max special defense and be like a full Volcarona counter, but I also want to be able to counter things like Zeraora, which could go for a Plasma Fist. I don't know if that kills. I should probably check, but I'm going to avoid having my Melodic have to go inside of a 1v1 situation with a Plasma Fist Zeraora. So yeah, I'll probably just go into like Benky or something like that. Whatever. And the speed is going to be for Azu, of course. So I had to take away some inside the defense and give 2 inside of this, so it's able to outspeed Azumarill, since, you know, belly drummed Azumarill is quite scary, and I'd rather not get absolutely crushed, since that thing gets to 199 with an Adamant Nature, which is the optimal Azu set. If anyone out there is using a Jelly Azumarill, you're heat, you're very cool, and you're going to throw off all my calcs, but, you know, it's kind of crazy. So yeah, this has a little bit inside speed, so it can do that, outspeed those guys. I would give it more to make it outspeed people trying to outspeed Azumarill, but I kind of want to keep as much inside of defense as possible. You know, maybe there's a calc that this is helping with. Maybe it can live Conkeldur's Guts Drain Punch or something like that. I'm actually pretty sure it could live like 2 of those, since my Melodic is just bulky as hell. Yeah. Anyways, oh, also Marvel Scales is going to be very helpful. So if we get burnt or something, or if we have Toxic Spikes up, it makes it so with that ability, if we're statist, our defense goes up by 1.5. So it's like an AV, but for defense, and we can still use like recover and all that. So yeah, I don't know if the defense is too useful, but I don't want to have like a whole intentional Toxic Spikes like court change thing. That seems a little counterintuitive. And then finally, the final mon, Nice Hustle. Now, you can already probably tell how this is going to distract my opponent from the real point of Togekiss. So not only I didn't have a Scarfer, and I didn't really have any mon to, you know, cheap an opponent out. I couldn't really be cheap. Sure, I could like burn them with Scald, or I don't know, maybe crit with Stone Edge. I didn't have anything insanely cheap. So I decided I was going to put on a Serene Grace Air Slash Togekiss, since I really like Scarf Defog. It's very helpful, especially if you're inside of a bad situation with screens, or if you want to get rid of Stealth Rock so some of your calcs work. Like if your Benky is going to die to like a Flamethrower or something. I don't know. I should have probably accounted for some of the calcs regarding Stealth Rocks, but most of these aren't really going to apply too much, since, you know, chip is just something that happens over the course of a game. It's not like you're going to preserve all your mons at the perfect amount of HP. But if you are inside of a situation where these mons can get healed up, which is quite possible with Grassy Surge. Jesus Christ. They're going at it. Don't know if you hear it, but you know, it doesn't matter. Yeah, but anyways, Nice Hustle is going to throw off the opponent, hopefully, thinking that we are going to be a Hustle Togekiss, which is not viable. But for some reason, Togekiss has extreme speed, play rough. Like, just take a look at this thing's physical moves. Very cool. Take a look at that. Take a look at this stuff. Brick Break, Counter, Dual Wing Beat, Extreme Speed, Focus Punch, Play Rough, Zen Headbutt. All these really good moves that it can use. But, you know, I wouldn't really advise using a banded set like that, but maybe some... Oh. Okay, then. There we go. Yeah, but I was going to give this thing a calc for something, but it's still going to die to a lot of the most important mons, like Bullet Punch by like Scizor and all that kind of stuff. So I gave it Flamethrower, I gave it Dazzling Gleam, since there is some Komo-Os running around, and that's a guaranteed OHKO on it. Unless the Komo-O is like Drain Punch or something. I mean Poison Jab, so, you know, if it's really fast, goes for like multiple of its weird bulking move. We're not going to be able to kill it, but, you know, maximum speed Togekiss with Choice Scarf, along with the Serene Grace, is kind of all you need. I don't really feel like having anything but Special Attack is useful here, so I'm just going to give it Special Attack. But that's the team. Hope you are following with all the sets. This was actually a pretty long video for me just talking about a single team, but hopefully it works out inside of the recent days whenever it comes out. But yeah, going over it again, we have this EV spread. Very proud of this one. Definitely tried to bring the most life into Speed of Mustard. This is just the counter mon, since it's very important to take out some of the most dangerous mons. Speaking of dangerous mons, we got this as our Volcarona counter. Mammoth, which is just a great mon in general to have. Marvelous Fish, mixed defenses, beautiful, enough speed to outspeed Azumarill, and then Nice Hustle, which we all know what this is going to do. Hopefully it'll flinch. I don't really have good luck with it, but you know, if we really need to get something out, a Scarfer is always helpful on the team. So I think this is a pretty balanced team. UU is kind of a mess right now. You can use mons that normally should not be UU. Like, a lot of these mons look UU to me, like, except Magnezone, he doesn't really look UU, and I don't really think Togekiss should be UU, but again, a lot of these mons are probably going to get absolutely crushed by Blaziken, which actually I don't think is going to be too insane as other tier. But at least with this team, I'm not too worried about it. I don't think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this mon should be able to counter Blaziken pretty well, since the only thing it has is like Stone Edge, Thunder Punch, Flare Blitz. It doesn't really have too much. I don't think it learns Knockoff, and if it does, it won't kill me, I don't think. So I guess this is the counter for that too, but I didn't calc that since I didn't really care. But anyways, that's gonna wrap it up for the video. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and keep on the lookout for my videos.